Having good decision-making skills does not necessarily mean that you will always make the right decision. However, some people are definitely better at making decisions than others. People who are good at making decisions tend to be able to combine logic with good intuition and the ability to learn the right lessons from past experience. It is a set of skills that some people are naturally good at, but it is also definitely something which can be taught. It is said that teachers make more than 1,500 decisions while teaching every day. The decisions teachers make have an immediate and often long-term impact on their students. And learning to make the right decisions quickly and efficiently is part of becoming a good teacher. In the same way, our students also need to become good at making decisions, both in terms of their current and future studies and in their careers. Many jobs require people to make sometimes complex decisions daily, and employers need to know that they can rely on their employees to do so effectively. As teachers, we can help our students learn how to make better choices and how to go through an effective decision-making process. Many people struggle with making decisions. There could be a number of reasons for this. Firstly, they may fear making the wrong decision and postpone or avoid decision-making as a result. This often leads to a decision being taken by default. For example, if students don't decide which subject to study, they may end up having to study a subject where there are still places available. Or sometimes teenage or young adult students find it difficult to make a decision because they don't really understand themselves well enough yet. For example, maybe they have never really considered which subjects they actually enjoy most or are most likely to succeed in. Or it may simply be that no one has ever really taught them how to make a good decision, especially if it is a complex one with different aspects which all need to be taken into account. To help our students develop good decision-making skills, we need to show them how to make good decisions and give them plenty of opportunities to practice over an extended period of time. In this way, they can both develop confidence in their own decisions and get to know themselves better. It is very difficult to make a good decision without having all the necessary information. We need to teach our students to research effectively and to listen carefully to what others have to say. They need to consider different aspects of any decision and make sure they are informed about them. For example, if they're choosing a university course, they need to find out as much information about the course as possible, using different sources. Equally, they need to listen carefully to others. If they aren't willing to consider other people's opinions as well as their own, or the impact of their decision on other people, they are less likely to make a decision that will have a long-term positive outcome. Many of the activities in our English classes can also build in a focus on these important skills, particularly helping them to gather information effectively from reading and listening texts and online sources and discussion activities in class. That said, it is of course also important that a decision works for your students personally. In order to achieve this, they need to be aware of their own values and priorities. Decisions almost inevitably involve trade-offs or compromises, and understanding what is truly important to them can help our students make the right choices. Listening or reading activities where students are encouraged to compare the point of view in the text with their own, and speaking and writing activities where they are encouraged to develop their own opinions can all help to develop this awareness. There is quite rarely just one good option. And if we can encourage our students to consider alternatives in a more flexible and open-minded way, we will help them to make more informed decisions. Giving them time to consider alternatives while debating or problem solving will help to develop this skill, as will broadening their perspectives by showing them examples of different attitudes or approaches. Critical thinking is vital at all stages of the decision-making process. As they gather information and identify different options, they need to be able to critically evaluate both the information and the options. As they consider the options, they will need to analyse pros and cons and the relative importance of each option, as well as considering how these options conform or not with their values. And once they have made a decision, they can use critical thinking to assess whether this was the right decision and what can be learnt for next time. Decision-making is embedded within highnote as part of encouraging students to take responsibility for their learning, to become more confident and autonomous learners. For example, in this writing lesson, the students learn to write a personal statement as part of a university application and need to make some decisions about what they should say in order to give themselves the best chance of a successful application. On a larger scale, in this life skills lesson, students start to look at how they might make a decision about a future career. They consider their strengths and weaknesses and do some research into some possible jobs, all part of ultimately making a good career choice. Decision-making skills are essential to succeed in both study and work. We can help our students to develop these skills by, firstly, offering plenty of opportunities for students to make choices within class and supporting and guiding them as appropriate. Secondly, offering guidance in exactly how to make a good decision. We can help students to understand all the elements to consider when making a decision and how to deal with trade-offs. Thirdly, we can help them to reflect on their decisions afterwards and consider if they made the best decision they could, given the information available at the time, and how to further improve their decision-making skills. Teaching our students decision-making will help them to develop their self-confidence and give them an invaluable skill going forward. I hope you join me in the next video in this series, which is all about leadership skills.